Man. All right. Well, then let's get to a little hometown love for Kyle. And honestly, one of the most exciting teams in the entire AFC, the Denver Broncos with sophomore quarterback Bo Nix at the helm. They seem to have gotten their coaching miscues out of the way. And they are really building on that defense over there. We talked a little bit about Dre Greenlaw and his injuries. He started the season preseason off injured, should be back. One of the better safeties in the league, Talanoa Funga, Um, they brought in defensive end out of LSU, a guy that I really liked, Savion Jones. I think he's probably going to end up being one of the league's better defensive ends. I like the talent that he has. Kyle, take it away about your team, dude. They are exciting.
Yeah. There's been a lot said about him, honestly, to a point that I don't enjoy, like I say. And what's weird is when Sean Payton came in, I don't know if it was a Russell Wilson thing, but it was all about like, no talking and let's do it with our play. And then ever since then, he's done nothing but talk to the media. So I mean, yeah, everybody's talked about the defensive additions. Like it was a great defense already as it is. Nick Bonito playing for a contract, I think, is going to have another huge year. Like he's basically like he went into that first preseason game, blew up 3 plays in a row, sack, almost got a fumble, and went right out. Was like, y'all know what my value is. That defense is stacked. It is. It's all going to really hinge on the health of those free agents because I really wanted the Broncos to address tight end and running back. Well, and we did address running back later in the draft, but I was hoping to get Hampton or Genty. Um, J.K. Dobbins, if healthy, is awesome. Dre Greenlaw on the other side, Ofunga, awesome pickups, but like we took a lot of risks. Even Evan Ingram, he's had what I think one season he's played a full year, so there's just so much hinging on it. Well, you guys are the proven entity. That's why I say until that dragging a Slade there up in Kansas City, man. I don't know if I think they probably still end up winning around 10 games, but I don't think it's going to be the huge jump ahead like a lot of people have said. I would definitely temper my expectations
I
a little bit more just between health and
you say it hinges on the health of these free agents that you brought in, but I honestly think if I'm a Broncos fan, most of my excitement is coming from Bo Nix and Sean Payton and that wide receiver room being together for another year. Like
for sure.
that was your inaugural year at 9-6 or whatever. You're making the playoffs. You
Yeah.
know, that's not even a correct record for the NFL right now. Nine and
I think we were 10-7 maybe.
10-7.
11-6, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
So
yeah.
that being the inaugural run of the head coach that handpicked his quarterback, and now like he has another. He's developing this experience and chemistry with his wide receiver room. I think anything you can add to it should like bolster what you've got, right? But
For
I
sure.
do feel like the names that have been added just kind of stand out on the page.
Oh yeah, it's hard to look away from. That's why all the hypes come from, and I am excited about Bo Nix. Like it feels good. I think he's the guy, but I do think he kind of plateaued even as a rookie, and a lot of people said that. I mean, he played so much college, like he was kind of low risk, low reward, in my opinion, and that's kind of how it played out. I mean, he's definitely shown some more tendency to throw the ball down the field than I think he's gotten credit for, and he did. I mean, gosh, he threw below the sticks a ton last year. And a lot of that was his first 4 or 5 games. I mean, he was awful in the first couple games against Seattle, and then even the first game we won against the Jets. I mean, he and Rodgers both looked awful. It was just a mess of a game in the rain in New York. So I mean, it took till halfway through the season for him to really show it. And there's a whole lot of room for regression. I don't think he's going to have like a Mac Jones regression to where he's just complete trash. But I really think, I mean, last year can kind of just be the expectation. I don't know. And I
And
love him,
Got
but
a
I don't know how much more
I
he can
correct
think
grow
me
from
correct
that.
me if I'm wrong. You guys still have that Albert O guy for at tight end?
We traded him a couple years ago now. Yeah, we got
Okay.
Ingram is basically our only thing because they just have not, they've refused to draft. Sean Payton's got Troutman that he loves from New Orleans, and he's more just a blocking tight end. That's the problem. If we're really relying on Ingram to be our tight end threat, and we have nothing outside of that, like our receiving room is awesome for sure. Marvin Mims is going to be kind of a gadget player, I think, and it looks like Pat Bryant might be the real deal. That's why they just traded away Vele. So. I think the receivers are going to be great, but in the running game again, it's
I was
kind of
gonna
the
say
same thing.
I want to talk about that running game because they brought in J.K. Dobbins,
Yeah,
big guy if he can stay healthy. That's the biggest downfall in him. But R.J. Harvey, I feel like he is going to be the steal of the fantasy draft for a lot of people this year.
yeah,
They're not seeing it. You don't have Javonte Williams anymore,
yeah.
who's going to get you three
It's
yards
time.
and get hurt.
Oh my gosh.
But R.J. Harvey looks like the real deal. He's going to be very exciting for the Broncos. I see him going pretty early in a lot of drafts. That's just a tip from me. But look to pick him up if he's available
You
for you
think
guys.
with
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins, he's worth?
I think JK is going to be hurt so much that it
Absolutely.
will be, and he's going to be used so much in the pass game that yeah, I think as long as RJ can stay healthy, I think he'll end up being a pretty awesome back
So
this year.
there's a
Dual
lot of
threat.
Broncos insiders that have been talking RJ up since before the preseason even started.
Yeah.
Even with J.K. Dobbins there, and they're getting their information directly from Sean Payton about. He's talked about how much he loves RJ Harvey and how much they're excited to utilize him. We know Sean Payton can talk out of his ass quite a bit, so
Hmm.
take that with for what it's worth. But they've noticed how much he's been utilized even throughout practices.
Yeah.
That it seems like RJ Harvey's going to be the
I
guy.
I think he's got like Alvin Kamara upside for sure if he can end up being what they hope he can be, which would be amazing because we haven't had explosion there in so long. I mean, so
When you
long.
don't get rid of the running back, you just like,
Yeah.
if he's not, if you're
Yeah.
not happy with what you have either.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, last year everyone thought Javonte Williams and Audric Estime they were good. I mean, they're both gone like that. I think it's crazy. If granted, Estime was only a fifth round pick, but he didn't ever. He just wasn't anything special. He was, a bit of a bruiser, but he wasn't bruising enough to make it worth it. And then yeah, Javonte, man, he was never the same. He tore his ACL. I think it was in Dallas, and like it was his rookie year or second year. I thought he was going to be like our best running back in 20 years when we drafted him. I was really stoked on him. And yeah, he's in Dallas now. Ever since he tore up his knee, he just lost that power and explosion. So if they can get Harvey, especially moving on some of those swing routes and actually get him out of the backfield, throwing him some passes, that would be huge.
And he's
Well,
going to be utilized a lot this year, so
Yeah.
I
please
don't
look to
think.
One
draft
thing I
him.
trust Sean Payton to do is that, yeah, use those guys
Yeah.
well.
Well, and you talked about like the early struggles with Bo Nix and a lot of his passing coming before the sticks. That's also Sean Payton-esque. Like without Marquise Colson in New Orleans, how often did they really throw down the
It's
field?
true.
Uh,
People think of Breeze
and
as like a downfield, but he really wasn't. If you think back, yeah, for sure.
He
you
had
know,
Slant Boy Michael Thomas for years too.
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. It was always before the sticks, and that's why his passer completion was so good. And Sean Payton was able to devise plays in order to get those yards after catch with blocking downfield or whatever, just a lot of timed routes to make that work. And we saw that happen throughout last year with Bo Nix. And I think that's one of the things that people aren't talking about enough with the Broncos is the wide receiver room. The wide receiver room is going by very quietly. I've talked with Broncos fans, and Portland Sutton was a guy who he would play 4 to 6 games and then he'd punt on the season. And how he's been able to stick around in Denver for so long, I don't know. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense on that, but he's always had immense talent. And now you get, Devon Vele, but now he's out. And you get rid of Tim Patrick. And so there's clearly talent that is going unseen by national media, even by local media, I would say, from what I've been able to see on Twitter. So talk a little bit about like your wide receiver room, and then I also want to know how Marvin Mims is going to do this year. The Oklahoma boy, love that guy,
oh yeah,
and I think it could be a breakout season for him.
yeah. No, I definitely agree. Before the draft, a ton of people were talking about the Broncos needing a receiver, and people were just shocked that they didn't get one until Bryant, in the third round. But Sean Payton is definitely a guy. He likes the big physical receivers. Like last year, we had little Jordan Humphreys who kept getting played, and it just drove everyone nuts. Like he was like the Broncos catcher couldn't stand him, man. But now we kind of have more of that depth, and even Sherfield, like granted it was a preseason game, but we brought him in to be like our special teams guy. I think he was in Minnesota and somewhere else. He had a couple amazing, like highlight catches from, granted again against backups in that first preseason game, but I think that kind of made that made Vele a little bit more expendable too. Vele was so old, he came in coming from Utah. He was like 26 when we drafted him, and he was great. I mean, he was going to end up being a player for us, but I think Pat Bryant was going to serve that role, and we already Cortland Sutton, Pat Bryant, and him were basically the same receiver. They're the tall, stout guys, so that's what gets me excited about Mims is he's the only one that's really different from that group, I would say. Obviously, Troy Franklin, too, a lot of people are sleeping on because he was Bo Nix's teammate at Oregon. And they're good buddies. He just didn't have it figured out last year. Kind of almost Xavier Worthy at the start of the year, but Xavier Worthy, I feel like, picked it up a little bit faster because he's definitely got that speed capability. He's actually faster than Mims, but Mims, I'm a little nervous about just because even last year he didn't really show much until I mean like half of his touchdowns were I think in like 3 games, sort of a thing. So we'll see if he can be more of a consistent player. If he can just show up and kind of run those gadget plays. They're saying that Evan Ingram's going to be the Joker, that Sean Payton likes to have, but I can see that kind of going the Marvin Mims way too. So
You think he's going to run some quarterback draws like Taysom Hill did?
yeah, I think so. I can see it. Would surprise me, man.
Old ass Evan Ingram out there.
Yeah, Sean Payton likes his gadgets.
For taking third place last year, I would say you guys have even more of a difficult schedule than the Chargers, which is
Yeah.
really surprising. I think
Annoying
really,
if I was would to be a fan.
yeah, I would say that
You
because
should
like
be mad.
your only competition in the
Yeah.
division is the Chiefs, home and away. But then
Yeah.
you have away Eagles, away Houston. You also have away to the Commies, and then home against the Packers as realistically your toughest games. I would say you definitely have a more difficult schedule than the second
Do
place
do
team.
they not play the
And
Eagles?
Yeah, we got
yes, they
Eagles
have
in
away
Philly.
away in Philly
It's like week 5 too. That's gonna be.
Oh, I didn't hear you say it.
this guy.
You're a guy.
Now
Thanks.
here's a guy.
How do you feel? I mean, I think we're all on the same page. Outside of the Chiefs, you guys are the cream of the crop in the division. You're going to push us and make us better. You're the Broncos will the Chiefs.
Dream rises to the top. Yeah.
Always.
Um, I think you have a very good shot at taking the top non-division seed going into the playoffs at the 5 spot.
What
Where do
seed would
you
that be,
feel
Ty Bob?
the 5 spot?
5 spot. There
Where do
you
you?
go, bud.
I've said that 3 times now. Thank you.
It's the 5
Uh,
spot.
1, 2,
Where
3,
do
4.
you how do you feel about that, Kyle? Do you think that's easily attainable? Do you just wipe everybody else outside of, these tough games?
Yeah, they basically, if we start strong, I think they have a shot at the division because we start real easy. It's like Tennessee and then Indianapolis. I think the Jets are mixed in there at some point, which is a London game, which can get weird. But if they start strong, we have a chance to kind of compete down the stretch there in December, and those games with you guys will be really important. But I think yeah, like best case scenario in my head because I'm trying to keep it even toned is I think probably 5 seed. I think 10 or 11 wins again, kind of like last year.
Okay, but after getting that 5 seed, what result leaves you happy as a fan?
I would
Ooh.
genuinely would be happy if we won a playoff game. I think we'd be taking a step, and then I'd be really excited about next year and thinking we could actually be because people are putting us as Super Bowl contenders this year, and I genuinely, as my fan, I would love that, but
You're being
I still
realistic
think
about
we
it.
need, yeah, I think we need
Seems a little
another
early.
year. Yeah, exactly, way early, and we need another year to let that all patch up together and.
You need to make sure Bonix is 30 before you actually
Yeah,
start thinking
exactly.
Super
He's
Bowl.
got to be fully experienced in his third year, 30 years old.
Um, Gosh, I had a
Honestly, best
question
of
in
best
mind.
of luck to you guys, dude. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
of the teams in the AFC West, I don't hate them the most.
I can take that. I respect that.
We've got you guys on a Christmas Day. That's the Christmas game, right?
Yeah,
Oof.
at Arrowhead.
Somebody's gonna have their Christmas ruined.
Most likely, yes. Every single Broncos game in the last 15 years played on Christmas has been horrible. Even the year Tebow was here,
Bro.
we had that whole run. One game we got killed. Bills on Christmas Eve. Like anytime the Broncos play on Christmas, they ruin my day. So I just marked
A
that as an
couple
L when I heard that on the calendar.
a couple
So
years ago, I had flown back from Florida to go to a Chiefs Raiders game on Christmas, and we absolutely shit the bed. So
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
yeah,
That was the Raiders like talking smack to the whole stadium and everything. Yeah, I
Yep.
remember.
Yep.
That's right.
We made up for it last year, but yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
they got
tough
their
pill to
revenge.
swallow against the Raiders.
There's the Raiders again. That's all they do, man. They just spoil. Like they're never actually competitive. They just beat you in games. Like they just take your joy away.
Well, I've got Denver. I think we all do going second here. That's the last pick. I will take the over on 10.5 games.
Yeah, I'd take the over.
I'm going to take the over as well.
Minimum 11.
Ty Bob thinks
I
they're going to
think
win the division, man. Ty Bob's got
well, you're the one who said the Chiefs only win 12 games.
That's why those head-to-heads could really matter. I think that's what I think. I think that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to be within about 2 or 3 games, and the head-to-heads are going to win it.